He said that while he was sleeping, he woke up because he felt like his comforter at his feet was being pulled up and down. And when he looked at the comforter, it was ripped off him and flew across the room. I had to get him into bed with me for the night. But after that night, this ghost tormented and scared my kids every day and night. My kids were able to see him. They were able to hear him and to feel him. It turns out that he was an old man. He literally pushed my 4-year-old off the top of the bunk bed. These occurrences happened every day, and it was terrifying. There was nothing that I could do to protect them. Every day when they went to school and I was home alone, I would close their bedroom door and put on music so I wouldn't hear noises, as the ghost liked to walk around and move things so obviously I was never able to get this man to leave, but we did move, and luckily, he did not follow us. I didn't know that spirits knew they were dead until that EVP. He has to move to get away from this. We had to move to get away from this man. Now, I don't know if you have watched my ghost story, but I actually lived in a haunted house. I did. I will link those below. But if you've ever lived in a house with something negative and something evil, you can feel it all the time. And like I said, I'm just going down Reddit. Okay, this one is called just simply hauntings. Basically, I live in a house with 3 floors. The ground floor, the first floor, and a loft. When I heard somebody knocking on the door, it was my 5-year-old brother, because I could hear him giggling, and I shouted, "Go away." 2 minutes later, someone knocked on the door again, and I shouted, "Go away." But this time, I only heard footsteps running downstairs. I wasn't scared or anything, just really annoyed. I got out of the shower and I was drying myself off when somebody knocked again. I had had enough, so I opened the door and yelled, "Bro, just leave me alone," knowing it had to be my brother. When I was finished, I went down to the living room and told my brother that he's got to stop doing that. My mom asked what happened, so I explained the knockings to her. She paused and then looked at me for a second. She told me she had been downstairs with her. He had been downstairs with her, playing with the magnets the whole time. Sure enough, when I turned around, he was playing with his magnets. Also, I sleep on a bunk bed, so close to the ceiling that I can reach out and touch it with my hand. The ceiling is also the floor of the loft. Okay, so there's the first floor, the ground floor, the first floor, and the loft, so he's in between. Some nights, I just hear footsteps or noises coming from upstairs. Everyone just tells me it's mice, but I don't really know. What do see, unknown grandma. This one is called Grandma, Is That You? And it was just posted a day ago. My grandma died not too long ago. She also had a cat who was still living, by the way, who was very, very close to her. It was before the funeral, and we were getting her stuff ready. We were looking for this orange teddy that she always used to talk about. While everyone was searching the house, I saw the cat and explained to the cat that we were looking for an orange teddy bear holding a red heart. I also said, let us know if you find anything. He's talking to the cat. Now I have two cats. And I know that they understand what I say. I know this. She was sitting on a window above the toilet seat when she started meowing very loudly. I thought she might want to come down, so I closed the toilet seat so she could walk down. She got down and walked towards a cabinet, turned around, and meowed like she was signaling for me to come, which that's what they do. I followed her because I was interested. She rubbed her back and side of the cabinet with a happy and calm expression on her face, like she did when my grandma scratched her. This was already odd, as she is very old and has been depressed ever since my grandmother died. I didn't know what to do, as I had already checked that cabinet, but I decided to check again anyway. Something made me look up into the dark side of the cabinet. I reached my hand out and felt something fluffy and soft. My heart skipped a beat. It was the teddy bear. I screamed the house down. Guys, I found it. I found the teddy bear. Now animals see things that humans don't. Could it have been my grandma? Could she have led the cat, let alone me, to the teddy bear? Animals can sense and feel things that we can't. And I believe that they have a different frequency than we do. Because I know a cat can tell if you're sick, can tell if you're happy, can tell if you're angry, can tell if you're sad. And they are there to help in any way they can. Like I said, I have two cats, and a lot of times you will hear my cat meowing at the door. That is because she wants in here to help me do the videos. She wants to work. I have a cat that wants to work. I know. Let's see if we have anything else. I hear somebody trying the locked handle and giggling. I shouted out, thinking it was one of my housemates playing a prank, but the handle rattled louder and more aggressively. I shot up and opened the door. It was pitch black, and everyone was asleep. My housemates kept hearing voices. Downstairs, they used to hear chattering. In the living room at night, chattering, 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 chattering. Oh, let's see. They would think it was us and text everyone, but it wasn't us. We were either out of the house or sound asleep. Now the shadows, the shadows, the shadows, the shadows. We would see shadows dart around the living room. One night, we were all watching TV together, and we all saw this figure dart down the hallway toward the garden. I couldn't sit or stand in that room without my back basically being against the wall. Tapping. Tapping. I would hear tapping. The taps in the downstairs bathroom and the kitchen would just turn on and off. Oh, I guess they mean water taps, not tapping, tapping, tapping. They mean the water. The water would turn randomly on and off. Got it? See, I just read these as I see them. I finally moved my third year into another property, and everything stopped. A few of the group had placement years, etc., so we split up. One of my housemates decided to stay on in that house, and new people moved in with her. I still went to visit the house, but it gave me the creeps. The man who took my room had the exact same experiences as me. Everyone else had their own. I know often think voices whisper as they slept. My dad heard several voices. When he started to open his eyes, the voices said shh. My mother one time fell down a flight of stairs as if her feet got knocked out from under her. My infant sister had a baby monitor. My parents would hear something talking to her, hitting her, and she would just cry out of nowhere. The worst time you could hear her was getting slapped, and my parents couldn't open the door. After forcing it open, she had a red hand mark on both of her cheeks. That's scary. My brother had an old mirror in his closet, and it used to be on the dresser, but it was too tall to fit in the bedroom, so they took it off. One night, my brother's closet opened, and he claims to have seen a demon coming out of the mirror and trying to get him as he ran in terror to my room. That would be absolutely terrifying. Wow. I moved into my room. I, being half asleep, told him to go back to bed. He moved the mirror out and seemed not to have issues with the closet any longer. For me, it started when I hid in my closet for a long time in the dark while playing hide and seek. I started coughing hard mucus to the point of coughing blood for about a year, and we couldn't get it to stop. But it just stopped by itself a year later. I don't think that had anything to do with the ghost. That might have been a medical issue. I have now reduced air function in my lungs. Next to things would move, objects will move and be misplaced, and it started playing with the radio. could still